Welcome everybody to ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl from the Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. The Louisville Cardinals, one of 4 champions of the Big East Conference in the regular season, shared the title with Cincinnati, Rutgers, and Syracuse. Louisville getting ready to take the field. They earned the trip to the BCS Bowl game by virtue of their higher BCS ranking, number 21. The other 3 Big East champions were not in the top 25 of the final Big East, or rather BCS standings. For Louisville, just its 2nd appearance in a BCS bowl game. They beat Wake Forest in the 2007 Orange Bowl. And the Cardinals take the field. And the Florida Gators in a BCS bowl game for the 7th time. Their first since the 2010 Sugar Bowl here in New Orleans. Florida's 11-1, the only defeat to Georgia. The Louisville Cardinals 10-2 overall, a great 9-0 start. Stumbled a bit down the stretch. An emotional night for Charlie Strong, the Louisville coach. 15 years he spent at the University of Florida as an assistant. What a great job he's done with the Cardinals. He's with Quintessinic.
Coach, you look across the field, you see that familiar Florida blue jersey. What emotions are you dealing with right now?
Well, right now, I just haven't really focused on them because I'm trying to get our team prepared to go play. But, you know, as the game goes, probably I'll take a look at some of the players and watch how they're playing. Earlier tonight, you said Teddy Bridgewater was 95% healthy. What are your expectations for your quarterback? Well, I expect him to play the way he's played all year long, just manage the offense and get us in the right place and just make sure that he plays well. Thank you, Coach. Sean.
All right, thank you very much, Quint. Will Muschamp in his 2nd season as head coach at Florida, 7-6 a year ago, called his team soft near the end of last season, and that got the Gators' attention. They are anything but soft on both sides of the ball. We'll see their offense first. It's run heavy. They're a grinded out team, and Jeff Driscoll, their quarterback, Chris, really played his best football near the end of the year.
Yeah, and people that don't think that Jeff can throw the ball, he can, and he looked good in practice. But I expect his first drive for Coach Muschamp to come out and set the physical tone of this football game. And for Louisville on defense, in order to stop that running game, they're going to have a lot of people up in the box, Sean. You're going to see 8 or 9 guys up there to try to slow down Mike Gillislee and company.
Louisville has been a very poor special teams team this year. Last in the Big East in kickoff coverage. Last in kickoff return. 2nd to last in punt return. Last in net punting. It is a concern for Charlie Strong. They've gotten a bit better as the season has progressed in covering kickoffs. John Wallace kicks off. Luchez Purifoy for the Gators. And a good return out to the 32-yard line. Tackled by Jalen Harrington. There come the Gators on offense. Just 101st in the country in total offense. They're a run-heavy team led by Jeff Driscoll, the big. He's every bit of 6'4", 237 pounds. Sophomore from Oviedo, Florida, in the Orlando area. Went to high school just a couple of miles away from the University of Central Florida campus. And he'll open in the gun. Mike Gillislee, one of the best running backs in the country, to his right. And the 3rd leading rusher in the SEC. Driscoll comes out throwing, and it's intercepted. Huge play to start the game. Terrell Floyd, touchdown, Louisville. It could not have been a better start for the Cardinals. Florida had turned the ball over only 12 times all year. The lowest mark in school history. If it had remained at 12 to end the season, they're now tied for the fewest in a season in school history with 13. But exactly what Louisville needed. A huge play, the early lead, the extra point good by John Wallace. 38-yard return, 15 seconds in, 7-0 Cardinals.
I'm going to start with the zone pressure here, Sean. Part of their game plan. This is a safety up front. And this is a good read by Driscoll. The problem is he's off target and timing's off a little bit. When you have Floyd coming there, just breaking on the ball, keeping receivers in front of him. And I like the tip drill. Does a good job of securing the football, and the transition from catch to run is outstanding. Exactly the game plan that they wanted to implement. Come with the zone pressure, bother Driscoll, and they make it pay off with Floyd, with the tip drill and the ability to score and finish.
Third interception of the year for Terrell Floyd. Louisville fans love it. They sold many more tickets out of the school's allotment than did the Florida Gators. The Gators sold about 7,000 tickets out of 17,500. Louisville sold about 14,500. We mentioned the turnover mark, and for Driscoll, just the fourth interception he has thrown this year.
I expect them, Sean, to come out and they try to run the ball. That's fine. But what do? They run the ball effectively. You come out throwing. That's not what you do. Come out and set the physical tone of the football game and pound it.
They came out throwing. They're 114th in the country in pass offense this year. Out of 120 teams, they were dead last in the SEC. They average 144 yards per game throwing. Gillisley, the ball carrier. He's across the line, and that's it. Brandon Dunn, a defensive tackle, made the stop for the Cardinals.
Come out that unbalanced look. They like to big in a true freshman, DJ Humphreys. A tackle, they line him up at tight end, and that's a nice adjustment by the Louisville defensive line, bumping over a man. Good recognition.
Florida will use a lot of extra offensive linemen, 6 and 7. Used it very effectively in their regular season finale, their win against Florida State up in Tallahassee. They rushed for 244 yards against the Noles. Uchez Purifoy got collared at the 40-yard line by Preston Brown, the middle linebacker, their leading tackler, junior from Cincinnati.
One thing Louisville relies on is their speed on defense, and Preston Brown coming in and does a good job of tackling high. And anytime you wrap your arms just like Preston did, you have a chance of causing a turnover or forcing a fumble by bringing your arms and clubbing that ball.
3rd down and 4 for the Gators. 37% for the year on 3rd down. That's not a great number. 83rd in the country. 5-man rush, and it's through the hands of his intended receiver, Gillisley, out of the backfield. So the Gators look a little bit shaky, and many have wondered about their motivation level. They came so close to playing for the national championship. Their only loss to Georgia. Will Muschamp said, "We do not believe we should be in the championship game. We had our chance against Georgia, committed 6 turnovers. We're comfortable with where we are." He believed his team would be ready tonight.
Yeah.
They want very much to win the 12th game. It's the 6th time in school history. Kyle Christie, a high punt, the fair catch made by Kai Dominguez. So the Cardinals already with the lead, and their offense hasn't taken a snap yet. Led by the native Floridian Teddy Bridgewater, sophomore from Miami, one of 34 players on this Louisville team from the state of Florida. One of 15 who went to high school in Miami. 69%, Chris, the number that jumps out, as you said earlier, extremely accurate.
Yeah, that's not just swinging screens or little checkdowns. That's throwing the ball down the field.
Line of scrimmage, the 17. Jeremy Wright, the running back. And he gets bounced back, made it to the line before he was repelled by John Bostic, the senior middle linebacker, having an outstanding senior season out of Wellington, Florida.
Louisville's not a very effective running football team. Just want to do that to keep Florida honest and slow down that pass rush, which will be fierce tonight.
High snap, and he handled it. And he's running out of time. Stumbles ahead, but it's still a sack for Florida. Dominique Easley, part of that very talented defensive front, junior from Staten Island, New York.
You see Dominique Easley coming from the top of your screen, splitting a double team and just disregarding the block of John Miller. Big, strong, powerful pass rusher. Not a lot of sacks, Sean, but they have 10 defensive linemen that they'll use throughout the game, and they do come with great effort.
3rd down and 14. Louisville's been a good 3rd down team this year, 49%. But not against the type of competition they're facing tonight. Louisville's Bridgewater throws it straight to Eli Rogers, and he's into Florida territory at the 47-yard line. Jalen Watkins made the tackle. Just the 12th play of 25 yards or more given up by Florida this year. That one's exactly 25 yards.
And it's set up by a throwing lane, and you're going to be able to see this right here is that he's going to throw him open. Eli Rogers understands where to work inside that zone, and Teddy Bridgewater will throw to a spot. He will not throw to a man. That's what makes him so effective and accurate.
Rogers and Bridgewater, the best of friends, grew up together in Miami. Both of their mothers are here tonight and sitting together. Jeremy Wright. Well, they've had nothing, Chris, in the running game since Sonoris Perry went down. Jeremy Wright's done his best, and he's been a very good receiver. But the first 9 games of the year, they won all 9. They rushed for at least 100 yards in every game. They haven't reached 50 yards rushing in any of the last 3 games against Syracuse, Connecticut, or Rutgers.
I'll be surprised if they get to that mark tonight, but it's really just a distraction for the Florida defense that they have to pay attention to the run to set up Teddy Bridgewater and that fine receiving core.
Bridgewater zings it, caught in traffic at the 31. 11-yard completion to Andrell Smith, another product of Miami, Florida. His 31st catch of the year. Marcus Roberson in on the stop for Florida. I think if you're a Louisville fan, Chris, you have to be greatly encouraged by this start on both sides of the ball for Louisville.
They don't seem intimidated, and I've never been around a team that has so much confidence in its leader like the players for Louisville have in Teddy Bridgewater.
Saw his numbers, a terrific 3rd down passer against one of the best 3rd down defenses in the country. The line giving him time. He finds a receiver, and Corbin Lamb got right to the 1st down yardage before he got driven back. Got about a half yard beyond the marker, in fact, before Elam and Roberson sent him back. And they convert on 3rd down midway through the 1st quarter. The Cardinals 3 for 3 on 3rd down.
We pointed this out in the pregame show, and you're going to see the good footwork right here. Now, we told you he can run, but this is what he does well with his feet. He buys time in throwing lanes with his feet. He has great pocket presence. And when you're able to get the ball to the guy in stride and Lamb and Scott Radcliffe coming back for a good block, you get the 1st down. Awareness, he has it.
Shift into an eye. DJ Butler, the fullback. Check down to Butler. Lots of running room down the sideline, and he bowled his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Louisville. See if he, well, the knee might have been down just before he got across.
See again, Scott Radcliffe again throwing a key block. There's the knee. The ball should be placed about the half-yard line from this angle.
Well, the first touch of his career for Butler. Yeah, they are going to mark it just inside the 1-yard line. Will Muschamp, defensive background, really strengthened his reputation as a defensive coordinator at LSU in this building the end of the 2003 season. He was the defensive coordinator when they beat Oklahoma and won the national title. 13th play of the drive. Jeremy Wright, touchdown Louisville. John Wallace now ready for the extra point. And the freshman boots it through. Well, he said after the first touchdown the game couldn't have started much better for Louisville. And it's got even better for the Cardinals since. 14-point underdogs, leading by 14 midway through the first quarter. John Wallace to kick off. 14-0 Louisville. Lucas Purifoy will run it back again. Flags down as he went down to the 29. They hand it off on the fly sweep. Andre DeBose, one of the fastest Gators, tackled by Adrian Buechele, a former Florida Gator, played 2 years in Gainesville and transferred. He has a lot of friends on this Florida team. Frankie Hammond, starting wide receiver for the Gators, was Buechele's roommate, and Adrian was a Gator. Trey Burton's frequently in the Wildcat formation back there now. They don't have a lot of playmakers at wide receiver. They have extra offensive linemen in, as you can see. Burton following them around the left corner. Trey Burton across midfield and well into Louisville territory. Tackled by Lorenzo Malden, a defensive lineman who had a long way to run. They're going to mark Burton down inside the 35-yard line. Actually, they've moved the football now well back toward midfield, marked him out of bounds at the 46.
That's your on-balance look. DJ Humphries lining up as a tight end, and Big Nixon
there
steps out of bounds, but you see the athletic ability of the big fellas getting downfield and blocking, and that's one of the formations they like to use. They're in the unbalanced again. Here comes DJ Humphries lining up at tight end.
Gillislee finds a hole and gets 9 on first down to the Louisville 37. Hakeem Smith made the tackle. Gillislee's a senior playing in his last game. He waited patiently as a backup the last 3 years behind Chris Rainey and Jeff Demps. The coaches talk about his unselfishness. Doesn't say very much, but he's had a great year. He's rushed for over 1,100 yards.
A good hard runner. The thing I like about him, Shawnee, has 2 gears. Patient, he sees the hole, then he has the burst to get through it.
Gillislee, the 3rd leading rusher in the SEC this year. And Johnny Manziel and Georgia's Todd Gurley. Driscoll hit as he throws. Got it off to the far sideline to Gillislee, who dances his way to the 24. Hakeem Smith made the tackle. 13-yard gain, and Florida is on the move.
Well executed play, but they miss a touchdown. You're going to see Trey Burton, number 8, streaking down the sidelines, wide open for a touchdown. There he goes, number 8, running the out and up. The corners run off. If he sees Trey Burton, instead of dumping it to the flat route, they might be within 1 touchdown. And that's just, I think Jeff might have had in his mind where he's going with the ball before he threw it.
The pistol for Driscoll. On the read option, he keeps it. And he's down at the 15. Another gain of 9. Preston Brown made the tackle. Driscoll is an outstanding runner. He's rushed for 404 yards for the season, but he had more than 300 lost yardage plays that came off his rushing total for sacks. On design running plays, he's averaged 9.5 yards per carry.
Faster Tim Tebow, about a 4.5 40 on that big fella.
Very highly recruited quarterback out of high school. Driscoll after the fake, a chop down. Calvin Pryor, the safety, flying up to make the play Second team all Big East Conference this season was Pryor.
Assignment football wins football games on defense. Calvin Pryor disregards the fake and understands that he has quarterback responsibility with the threat of Driscoll running the football. Discipline, fill your lane, and make the play.
Like what Calvin Pryor said the other day, we've seen quarterbacks like Driscoll, but none as big as him. We've seen quarterbacks who can run, but not at 6'4", 237.
Most of that weight is in his legs. Big, powerful legs on Driscoll.
He probably won't get the snap off before the end of the quarter. And what a quarter for Louisville. They lead 14-0 at the end of one. You're watching ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl. Welcome back to New Orleans and ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl. Sean McDonough, Chris Spielman, Quint Kessenich. Florida Gators since 2004 haven't won a game when they've trailed by 14 or more points. The largest deficit they faced this year was 10 in their SEC opener at Texas A&M, second game of the year. They were down 17-7, rallied to win 20-17.
Jordan Reed.
He's their leading receiver. Driscoll never looked at him. Throws incomplete on 3rd down and 13. He was looking for Frankie Hammond.
Again, I think, Sean, he's making up his mind where he's going with the football. I mean, he looked right at Frankie Hammond. They had a high-low coverage, bracket coverage. He runs right into the safety, and he's throwing it no matter what. He's not reading the defense, and he's not surveying the field. Very easy for his zone defense to read and break on the football.
One of the best kickers in the country, Caleb Sturgis. 23 out of 27 this year. 3 of his 4 misses have been blocks. That's been a problem. 33-yarder is good, and that's now, as you saw, the single season record. 24 field goals. He holds that mark all by himself. Florida's on the board. The opening seconds of the second quarter. Inside the Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Louisville leading 14-3. It was a very long Florida drive. 6 minutes and 57 seconds. They had to settle for a 33-yard field goal by Caleb Sturgis. Some long possessions in this game. Louisville on its first drive held the ball for nearly 6.5 minutes. These are 2 of the top 8 teams in the country in time of possession. Sturgis, a good kickoff. Over the head of Jeremy Wright. Bridgewater, Miami Northwestern High School, originally committed to the University of Miami. But then Randy Shannon, the head coach, was fired. And Bridgewater started to look around again. Seriously considered LSU for electing to go to Louisville. Bridgewater on target. First down. Damian Copeland, another Floridian from Bradenton. Gain of 12. Here's Quint Kessenich.
Sean, I listened into Dan Quinn, Florida defensive coordinator, during that last possession. Really happy with the run defense. Said, hey, keep setting the edges. Great hit on Bridgewater, referring to that high shot earlier in the ball game. Spent most of his time on 3rd down defense. Said, guys, we got to start disregarding the run on 3rd and long and look for Florida to play more man-to-man defense down by the goal line and less zone.
Right. Who said they should abandon the run? 9-yard gain for Jeremy Wright. Young man just graduated from the University of Louisville. First member of his family to get a college degree. Did that in the month of December. Wasn't highly recruited by quote-unquote big-time schools. Wasn't sure even wanted to go to college. And boy, is he glad that he did, both academically and from a football standpoint.
Another man from Florida, 34 on this Louisville roster. So they're not intimidated. They probably played against a lot of these guys in high school.
A lot of friendships and some rivals among the members of these two teams. Right out of the backfield, even though he hasn't been able to rush the ball effectively, he's been an excellent receiver in recent weeks. That one's good for a first down to the 26-yard line. We mentioned it a few times, and only natural given Charlie Strong's background in the state of Florida. 15 years as a Gator assistant. He has a lot of recruiting ties in the Sunshine State, and 34 of his players are from Florida. Only one Florida player is from Kentucky. Sam Roby, backup offensive lineman, the son of the great former Kentucky basketball star Rick Roby.
Boston Celtic too, eh, Sean?
Sure was. Play action pass. Jalen Harrington in the flat with plenty of running room. There's another player who was a defender until about the 6th game of the year, like B.J. Butler. Harrington was a linebacker until midseason. That's a 16-yard gain. His first touch of the year.
You know, I always say what great athletes those linebackers are.
You say that.
Yeah. But they have Florida guessing. I mean, it's all set up by, even though they're not very effective running the ball on first down, Florida has to honor the run. So what do? You hit them with the play action bootleg, and there's not a throw that number 5 cannot make.
You know, teams talk about balance, but Louisville really does it. They are almost exactly 50-50 in play selection for the year. Run pass coordinated by Sean Watson, who's done a terrific job. Right, smothered by Sharif Floyd, one of the best defensive tackles in the country. He's a junior who, like Elam, might be coming out. Underclassmen have to declare their intentions the middle of this month, and the coaches think that Sharif Floyd and Matt Elam, maybe 1 or 2 other Gators, may come out in the draft.
And Sharif played defensive end last year, back in his more natural position, more disruptive position for Sharif. Defensive tackle did a good job of getting on the guard's rear end as he pulled, just followed him right to the ball.
Louisville driving again. You didn't know which team was number 3 in the country. You'd think it was the Cardinals with the way this game has gone. Talk about accuracy. If that throw is supposed to go to the back pylon, that's exactly where it went, because he knocked it down. But Devontae Parker was spinning around like a top.
Yeah, Devontae tripped on his cut. It's a nice little matchup too. Elam showing his versatility at safety, lining up on Louisville's best wide receiver. You don't see that often with the safety on him. But Devontae tried to plant that foot and tripped up turf.
Great red zone team, best in the country. Louisville. And more often than not, it is touchdowns. 35 touchdowns. 14 field goals.
There's that matchup again. Elam and Devontae Parker. There's Devontae in the screen.
They look for him down here. Bridgewater throws a little too high. Intended for Nate Nord, the tight end. Yet another Floridian from Boca Raton. John Bostic better be careful. He's jabbing his finger in the face of the side judge, Craig Jeffries. That easily could have been flagged. So after a long Florida drive, ends in a field goal. The Gator defense stiffens in the red zone, and here's John Wallace. It was a question mark at the start of the year, but as you can see, he's had a terrific year. 27-yarder. He hasn't missed from inside 40 yards, and he still has not missed from in close. 12-play, 66-yard drive for Louisville. Their lead back to 14. You're watching ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl. John Wallace kicks off. Luchez Purifoy started at the 2. And got taken down at the 27 by Jalen Harrington. Driscoll in trouble and swung down back at the 20 by Marcus Smith. Well, Will Muschamp told us yesterday when I watched Louisville defense film, Marcus Smith jumps out at me, and he'll jump out at you in the DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam.
Yeah, Marcus Smith is going to make a nice little move on Hunter Joyer right here. Watch a little inside move, come around, not give up, and able to secure the sack and tackling the big Driscoll.
3rd down and 17. We're one of the worst passing teams in the country. Louisville brings a blitz. Driscoll running out of time, throws the wobbler. That's low and incomplete. Intended for Frankie Hammond. So 3 and out for the Florida Gators, and Louisville will get it back, already leading by 14.
Let me tell you the difference. There was an open window to Frankie Hammond. The ball was late. That's why it was underthrown. Plus he was under pressure. But Bridgewater will anticipate where to throw the ball, and he gets it there on time. The ball was late, which was caused by the pressure. He throws that ball on time. They got a first down.
There's Kyle Christie to punt, one of the best in the country, finalist for the Ray Guy Award. 5th in the nation in punting average, better than 46 per punt. That wasn't his best. Ty Dominguez popped down at the 46-yard line by Matt Elam. 38-yard punt, 5-yard return. There's Teddy Bridgewater with pins in his wrist and braces on his teeth, and starring once again for the Louisville Cardinals. He's in trouble and taken down by Lorente McCray. He's a valuable member of this defense. Sometimes he'll be standing up, sometimes down in the stance.
Yeah, he's down in the stance right here, and you'll see Lorente. One of the things the Florida guys do is they get off the ball. Nice, just a power move inside and just a bull rush. And right there, when you got a guy backpedaling in Brown, number 79, you pretty much can do what you want. Now Brown, what he'll have to do is put that in the memory banks and get a little bit of a hard power set on McCray.
Jake Smith in there at right guard now. He's ordinarily the starter. He had a 103-degree temperature yesterday. They weren't sure he would play. Bridgewater right on target again. Andrell Smith all the way to the 35-yard line of Florida. Jalen Watkins and Michael Taylor made the tackle. It's a 24-yard play for the Cardinals.
Sean, when you're playing man and you're number 9, Josh Evans, you got to come up and jump the man. He got frozen by the quarterback and was looking at him, was late getting there. Then you see big Andrell Smith, although slight in stature, put his shoulder down and lower the boom, and carrying 3 Gators with him.
Will Muschamp said his players knew what they were getting into tonight against Bridgewater. They could tell by watching the tape. Matt Elam, their safety, said he's the best quarterback they'll play this year, including the Heisman Trophy winner Johnny Manziel. Fowler and Easley combined to blow up that play. Jeremy Wright dropped for another loss and a big one back outside the 36-yard line. I think a lot of times these bowl games are springboards into the next year, and I think Teddy Bridgewater is going to be on a lot of those preseason Heisman prognostication lists.
He's on mine. He's also on mine as a future NFL first-round draft choice.
Loss of 6. It's just the 3rd possession of the game for Louisville. They've scored a defensive touchdown. If you just joined us, they scored an interception return in the first play from scrimmage of the game. Devontae Parker gets 17 and a first down. Antonio Morrison made the tackle. Louisville had the ball for more than 6 minutes on each of its first 2 possessions. Another way to pull off an upset. Hang on to the ball.
It's matchups. Matchups with Parker lined up on ball. The matchup turns up into a mismatch, which one that Bridgewater recognizes and delivers the ball where Parker can catch and transition into the run without any work.
First and 10 from the 12. Eating up the clock and looking to add to their lead. Right. Dominic Easley took him down for a 3-yard loss. Louisville now with 6 yards rushing.
It's almost like an annoyance to Florida. We're going to annoy you by running the football. But it's working because it's been able to open up the pass, because you do have to honor the run.
Wright has 10 carries for 2 yards.
Intensity of Charlie Strong. That's his personality. It's his last name.
Here's the co-Big East Coach of the Year with Kyle Flood of Rutgers. Charlie, 52 years old. Looks like he could still play. 5-man rush. Bridgewater throws. It is caught. Touchdown. There is a flag down, but it looked like It's going to be pass interference against Florida. Devontae Parker does it again in the red zone. Parker was pretty clearly being held as he crossed the goal line while the ball was in the air.
Pass interference. Defense, number 15. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
So they've converted a 3rd and 14, a 3rd and 10, and now on 3rd and 13, it's a 15-yard touchdown pass. Let's check it to make sure it was a catch and inbounds. It appears to be.
The ball's not rolling around, and outstanding job of over the shoulder, foot down.
Yep, 1 foot down is all you need in college. He completes the catch. Great position by Joel Clay, the field judge, and no need to stop for a review. John Wallace adds the extra point in a stunning first half. Louisville now leading 24-3. Will Muschamp in disbelief. His team's been dominated here in the first half.
Well, we knew this was coming. This was the matchup that they worked on in practice. Purefoy is their best cover corner. And right there, the ball's thrown where only Parker is able to catch it to the outside, away from the coverage. Let's let the celebration begin. So many stories, Sean, about breast cancer. And a lot of times it galvanizes a family, and it certainly galvanized that family.
Andre DuBose. They could use a big return. They don't get one. They got chopped down by Anthony Branch. Teddy Bridgewater, very impressive young man. We certainly enjoyed our visit with Driscoll on target. Caught by Quentin Dunbar. And now in the hurry up, the Gators trying to get a little rhythm.
Well, that's a nice read by Driscoll. Everybody jumped the flat route, which Driscoll moved the defenders to the flat with his eyes, then came back to Dunbar in the curl. Your eyes will help you as a quarterback. You can move people around just like Driscoll did.
This is really out of character for Florida. I'm going to line up and basically throw it almost every down. But they're doing it successfully. Frankie Hammond chopped out of bounds with another first down at the 45-yard line of Louisville. Knocked out by Andrew Johnson. He's from Miami. 11-yard gain after the 16-yarder by Dunbar. Plenty of time now. They can really use all of their offense. 1:50 to go and all 3 timeouts left.
You see Louisville's being a little bit preventive right here. They jumped that last short route. They want to keep everything underneath and make a good solid tackle if there's a reception in front of them.
Matt Jones, the running back. Driscoll faked it to him. Omarius Hines in space. It swung forward. He has a first down. They're getting it in big chunks here. That's another 11-yard gain. Preston Brown made the tackle.
Again, instead of bringing any zone pressures, they're just rushing 4, dropping 7 behind, keeping everything in front. And Driscoll's taking advantage. Here comes the pressure.
Well, they bring a blitz. Driscoll has time and a receiver. Dunbar inbounds, whacked immediately by Deontrez Mount. Very important possession for Florida. Driscoll's hit his last 4 passes. And straight Burton in motion. 5-man rush. Now Driscoll with some running room up the middle has the first down. The clock will stop to move the chains. He's down inside the 19, chased by Jermaine Reeve, a backup safety. Another product of Miami, Florida.
Good pickup by Florida. Calvin Pryor pressuring from the outside from his safety position. Good pickup, which allowed Driscoll to tuck it and run.
It is a very good offensive line with a lot of veterans across the Florida front. Driscoll didn't find anybody looking left. He's going to run. And he's near another first down. Chased out by Preston Brown. They're going to mark it at the 8-yard line. 1st and goal, Florida, with 35 seconds and 2 timeouts left.
Well, if you're big in pressure, you have to get there. And again, solid job by Florida picking up the pressure. And Malden loses contain, which allows the fast 4.5 40 guy Driscoll to get the first down, and Charlie does not like it.
Spread formation. Quarterback draw. Driscoll. Now they're going to have to use another timeout. He got to the 3-yard line before he got pinballed back. A second and goal with 28 seconds and 1 timeout left. They have Driscoll out of the ball game. Trey Burton back in the Wildcat.
Unbalanced line to the right.
9 men across the line of scrimmage. And he's going to throw it. And it's well covered. They're so well coached on defense. Now Burton runs and he's down at the 2-yard line. Only 1 timeout left. Will Muschamp's going to use it. 3rd down and goal. Where they're so well coached, they weren't fooled at all.
You know, you're right, Sean, and why they're well coached is because even though it looks like a total run formation with the on balance, watch the offensive linemen. They show high hats. High hats means play action. They're not blocking downfield, and it's a good job of recognizing by the cover folks to jump on any potential receivers. Burton does well to get all he can get.
What do you mean by the high hats?
The offensive line.
When they stand up, it gives it away that it's going to be a pass.
Yes,
They're
sir.
not run blockers.
Thank you.
No, you made the point. Just
No, I mean, that's good that you
amplify it.
You interpret for me often.
Well, I'm used to it. I have to finish Bill Raftery's sentences starting next Monday night. Big Monday returns.
Looking forward to watching that. Feel a little sorry for Raph and Jay, but that's all right.
Now, can they run the ball here, Chris, without a timeout? Or do you have to throw with 19 seconds?
I think you can run the football here. That's what you do best.
But you better hurry up. No, they're going to throw it. And they're going to throw it in the back of the end zone. Broken up beautifully by Jermaine Reed. Intended for Jordan Reed, their leading receiver, who's had a quiet half. I don't think they felt like they could run the ball, Chris, because if they got tackled short of the goal line, they may not have time for another play or a field goal.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also know that's what they do best. They don't throw the ball best. They go to Jordan Reed and watch Reed go up and just play the hands. Does not panic, turns and plays the hands, does not quit on the ball, and does a good job of targeting the football with his right hand.
Look at this formation. Field goal team not on the field. Louisville doesn't have a timeout to adjust to it. They snap it to Burton. He handed it off for a touchdown to Matt Jones. I'd say both teams are well coached. Terrific creativity by Will Muschamp, Brent Pease, and their staff. Charlie Strong didn't have a timeout to help them get ready for that trickery. And a huge touchdown. And I think they had to do something like that, Chris, because a field goal wasn't going to turn momentum in Florida's favor. That big play might. Caleb Sturgis adds the extra point. 24-10. Here's Quint.
Coach, what impact did that last touchdown have?
Well, it's a big play for us. It's a 2-score game. We got to get off the field on 3rd down. That's the issue right now. We're playing the runs pretty well. We've had 2 nice drives offensively. We just can't get off the field on 3rd down.
Yeah, 3rd and medium, 3rd and long. How can you better defend Teddy Bridgewater?
Well, we've got to keep a guy on him and do a little bit of some stuff we did earlier in the year.
Thanks, Coach. 8 comeback wins, Sean. A little spark down here for the first time in the first half.
And he's right on about the 3rd downs. 5 out of 6 on 3rd down. Louisville. Halftime score, the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl. Louisville 24, Florida 10. And we welcome you back to ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl from Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans. A surprise at the half. Louisville, one of the quad champions of the Big East Conference, leading the number 3 team in the country, Florida, 24-10. Welcome back to New Orleans. Sean McDonough along with Chris Spielman, rejoined in a moment by Quint Kesenick. The score is a surprise. It isn't a surprise, though, if you watch the half. Louisville scored a defensive touchdown 15 seconds into the game, and for most of the half, controlled the play. Florida got the late touchdown to get within 2 scores. What other adjustments does Florida have to make?
Well, let's look at the defensive side of the ball. Teddy Bridgewater has time to throw the ball. Credit to Louisville's offensive line. They're handling the 4-man rush of Florida. So I believe Will Muschamp and Dan Quinn will come out and come with some type of pressure, either zone pressure or man pressure, to get Bridgewater off his game and off his timing.
And if you're Louisville, Charlie Strong, your coach, told you don't worry about who you're playing, just do what you can do, play like we always do. And that's what his team did. They didn't seem fazed at all by the caliber of the competition. More of the same, or do they need to adjust?
No, I think they do what you've been doing. Their defense has been outstanding, solid against the run, what Florida loves to do best, and Louisville's been able to shut down their power running game.
Louisville will get the ball first to begin the second half, as Caleb Sturgis has it teed up. And it's an onside kick. And the Louisville players were ready for it. They did not retreat. And they actually had a wide receiver up there on the front line, Andrell Smith, who recovered it. And now flags fly after a skirmish breaks out. But give Louisville credit. They were not retreating. They held their ground and cleanly recovered the attempted surprise onside kick by the Florida Gators, who have not attempted an onside kick all year prior to tonight.
Andrell Smith did a good job of holding his position. A lot of times in the scouting report, when you're watching film, you look for a guy that will retreat early. They were disciplined, waiting till the ball's kicked before they move. Andrell Smith took a heck of a shot and was able to hold on to the football.
We mentioned at the beginning, Charlie Strong's Cardinals have been a dreadful special teams team all year long.
There are 2 fouls on the play. Both fouls occurred after the play. Personal foul, kicking team, number 15. Personal foul, kicking team, number 32. Both fouls will be enforced, 15 yards each. Number 32 on the kicking team has been ejected from the game.
Chris Johnson, the backup running back, has been ejected. Do you like the decision to onside kick, Chris? I mean, you're back in the game with the late touchdown. This almost reeks of desperation, doesn't it? Or are you just trying to keep the momentum going? But you run a big risk when you give the team the ball at midfield.
Bowl game, I think you can get them by surprise, but Charlie Strong has a well-coached team.
You're going to get ejected every time. Will Muschamp can complain, but it was right in the view of the side judge, Craig Jeffries, and the umpire, James Krogstad.
It's undisciplined. Undisciplined. I mean, you go with the onside kick. If they recover it, you're able to have some type of field position, but you add the 2 15-yard penalties, then a mistake. Mental error.
Well, the penalties against Florida bring the ball down to the 19-yard line. Now, this is a gamble that could really backfire on Will Muschamp. Bridgewater wants to make them pay immediately, and he does. Touchdown, Damian Copeland. Louisville has scored on the first play from scrimmage in both halves.
They hit him with the old slant and go. And actually, Purefoy did a good job of not jumping, but his eyes have to go to the receiver instead of on the quarterback. He loses sight of the receiver. And again, Bridgewater throws to a spot. He doesn't throw to the man. He lets the man get to the ball. Outstanding execution by Louisville's offense.
And whatever momentum Florida had by the trick play that resulted in the touchdown at the end of the half is gone. The gamble really blows up in the face of Will Muschamp. The lack of poise by Chris Johnson hurts. And Bridgewater to Copeland, 19 yards. And here's what you're talking about, spreading it around the field. The middle's been great to him tonight. 5 for 5 over the middle, under 15 yards, and 1 for 1 deep down the middle.
One thing for Florida, at least they can take away from that drive, is that they were able to block the extra point to keep it to a 20-point game as opposed to a 21-point game.
There's Rose Murphy with Eli Rogers' mom, Trinae, there. You mentioned Eli and Teddy are the best of friends. Their moms are very close. Luchez Purefoy with the angle kickoff that they've used in the second half of the year to really improve their kickoff coverage, and that's the way Charlie Strong wants it executed. Zed Evans down there like a rocket to blow up the return.
And Vedza, I think Ved's out on his feet because he's going to get him with his head right here. But a good job of selling out. You can see he hit him kind of right in the knee with his head, just trying to get his body across the ball. Did not get his arms out. But guys are playing reckless. They're playing with purpose, and they're playing with passion. And it's evident how they cover kicks. And he's giving him a thumbs up.
They have to get the offense moving, down by 20. late in the third quarter now. Omarius Hines gets 9 on first down. Great chances for Louisville squandered. They had a 1st and goal at the 4 after Jeff Driscoll fumbled. Got no points out of that. They had 1st and 10 at the 12-yard line. Made it as deep as the 9-yard line on the last possession, but the chop block took the field goal off the board, and they didn't get any points on that possession either. 2nd and 1. Mike Gillisley. Gillisley has not been a factor at all. He's had 5 100-yard rushing games. They haven't been on the field very much. They've been behind all night. They've been throwing more than usual. That's just his 5th carry of the night. Now 6 carries for 21 yards.
Opposite of how they're built and what they've done all year.
Driscoll surrounded and throws it at the feet of Gillisley.
Sean, coming in this game, 36 sacks given up by Florida. A big reason is, and they addressed this yesterday, is that he holds on to the football. You have to make a decision and throw the ball. You see open receivers, give it to him right now, and that's the reason. That protection wasn't that bad. He held on to the ball too long, which caused the sack or the incomplete. The pressure.
Another problem that they have, to be fair to Driscoll, and he admits he's a big part of the problem, especially early in the year. He had 8 sacks at Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot of playmakers at wide receiver. They have guys who struggle to get open. Driscoll, look out! Down back at the 26-yard line. Lorenzo Malden with help from Sheldon Rankins.
DirecTV Ultimate Picture Cam right here. The pressure is going to come from inside, and it's just 4 men, so they don't need to get zone pressure. It's that little X game again where they come, where Rankins does a good job of splitting the double team.
Wow. True freshman, his first sack of his career. What a time to get it. Kyle Christie got it off. Line drive punt. Kai Dominguez. Thrown down at the 40-yard line by John Bostic, their starting middle linebacker. Bridgewater's pass deflected high in the air and intercepted. Josh Evans has the ball for Florida. Dominique Easley was the man who deflected it straight up in the air and caused the first turnover of the night by Louisville.
It's all about awareness. You know you're not going to get there as far as your rush goes. Do everything you can. Does a little spin, bats it up with his right hand, and Josh Evans did a good job. Once that ball was tipped, he was able to push the receiver, which you're allowed to do since the ball was tipped, get him out of the way and make the catch. Great awareness by Evans.
His 3rd interception for the senior from Irvington, New Jersey. 20th interception of the year for the Florida Gators. Their 30th takeaway in 13 games. Now back to their typical offensive look. Out of the pistol, Gillisley, a power run. Down near the 25-yard line. 11 yards.
Little different look, Sean. They had the balance to the left, but Louisville shifted over a guy, so what do? They come back to the unbalanced side to the right. It's kind of what we expected to see throughout the game.
Took a long time to get that play off. Gillisley pummeled behind the line of scrimmage. James Burgess, the true freshman, and Preston Brown.
Given an assist to number 48, Mount. They have Poolers, and Mount disregards trying to make the tackle. What his job is he comes in and he takes out as many blockers as he can so the linebackers can run free and make the plays like they're supposed to make.
61 yards rushing for Florida tonight. Trey Burton back in with the Wildcat. Down to a half minute to go in the third quarter. Fake the handoff to Hines, looking for a running lane, and does not find one. Down just across the line of scrimmage in the arms of the true freshman from Homestead, Florida, James Burgess.
Undersized linebacker, 210 pounds, and Charlie told us he can run. Certainly did there, and it's not kind of a long developing play, just kind of running sideways and lateral. Eventually you got to make a decision and hit it upfield.
That'll be the end of the third quarter. They sense it in the Louisville stands. Perhaps 15 minutes away from the biggest win in school history. Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of the 2013 All-State Sugar Bowl from New Orleans. Heading to the fourth quarter. The Louisville Cardinals of the Big East Conference. Much maligned is the Big East, leading Florida 30-10. Huge play here for Florida. Third down 10, the Louisville 26. They go in the bag of tricks. Omarius Hines, good call and well executed. And a first down to the Louisville 11. Calvin Pryor and Jermaine Reeve made the tackle.
Taking advantage of an over-pursuing defense. Coming off the edge, they lose Contain. Contain is forcing the ball back inside to your help. See number 25 again. Calvin Pryor was coming on a blitz, but lost where the football was. Good recognition by Brent Pease.
Yeah, Chris, they've gone back to more typical Florida offense here. But they kind of need to stick with the hurry up. They're running the play clock down into the single digits with almost every snap. Driscoll on 3rd and 8. Zips one. Intercepted. Off the hands of Dunbar. And picked off by Andrew Johnson. Who's chased out of bounds by Driscoll. Third Florida turnover of the night. And this one might have sealed their fate. Off the hands of Dunbar. And snatched by the sophomore from Miami, Andrew Johnson, his first of the year. Back in New Orleans, and they're already starting to party in the Louisville cheering sections. First interception of his career for Andrew Johnson, sophomore from Miami. Louisville takes over its own 22, leading by 20. Florida's not scored here in the second half. It could be a blowout had Louisville fully capitalized on some terrific chances to add the lead here in the second half. Leon Orr made the tackle on Jeremy Wright. Jeff Driscoll had thrown only 3 interceptions all season long. He's thrown 2 tonight.
7 points off those 3 turnovers for Louisville. Florida unable to capitalize off of their interception.
And Bridgewater, very intelligent. He'll run the play clock down. The 5. Florida blitz. Out in the flat it goes. Eli Rogers the catch. He has a first down. 13-yard gain to his best friend. They've overcome a lot to be in this wonderful position tonight. Grew up in a very difficult neighborhood in Miami, each with a lot of challenges to overcome. We mentioned Teddy Bridgewater's mom battling cancer for many years. Eli Rogers' mother, who's here tonight, there's Trinae, has been battling AIDS for the last 11 years. And her son has played a huge role in making sure that she gets all of the medical care and attention that she needs. Jeremy Wright finds a hole. He's found much more running room here in the second half. Dante Fowler made the tackle under 11 minutes to go. Bridgewater 20 out of 30 passing tonight for 266 yards.
Well, again, it's about trust, anticipation, and knowing when to deliver the football. Stepping up into the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. A little off target, but Eli made a nice catch. And right here, throwing to where your guy only gets it. On the fade or the fade stop, that was a slant go. Taking advantage of throwing to a certain area, trusting that Copeland's going to make the catch.
His 8 straight games now in which Bridgewater's thrown for at least 250 yards. And now Wright burst through the middle. And as a first down, lost the ball as he hit the ground. Ruled down by contact. It didn't matter as Damian Copeland fell on it. Marcus Roberson and Jalen Watkins. And all of a sudden they're finding success. This is the longest run of the season against the Florida Gator defense, 25 yards.
Yeah, the last time they gave up a run that big on the cutback was against Tennessee.
That was a fumble. Copeland there. Now the longest run against Florida prior to tonight was Morgan Newton of Kentucky.
Oh, excuse me.
September 22nd, 24 yards. That was the shortest opponent long run in the nation against any team. That's amazing in this day and age of football. The longest run you've given up all year was 24 yards. Right, by the way, not long ago we mentioned he was 11 carries for 0 yards for the night. In this half he's now 10 carries for 62 yards.
Sean, let's give credit to that offensive line, starting with Cupper, John Miller, Benavides, Jake Smith, Joyer, Brown. All those guys up front have done an outstanding job in pass protection and opened up some running lanes here late in the game.
Cameron Joyer's in at left guard now. Played both guard positions. He's going to win the battle of bragging rights in the Joyer household. Right. Hit immediately. Blitz off the corner. Matt Elam again. Cameron Joyer's brother is the starting fullback for the Florida Gators. Hunter Joyer. Cameron is about 2.5 years older. Didn't think they were going to play against each other, but they are tonight. They were home for Christmas. Their mom cursed and said there was very little talk about football. All they did was what they usually do as brothers growing up together, give each other a hard time. Mom said leave their shoes and socks all over the house in the Tampa area. Blitz again. Bridgewater running out of time. Got it off just ahead of the contact from Dominique Easley. It was a big problem for the Joyer family tonight. What section would they sit in? What kind of gear would they wear to the games? One of the brothers, Cameron, in his Louisville red, and sophomore running back Hunter Joyer is not enjoying this. Apparently the compromise was the mom, Kirsten, sat on the Gator side, which is not the happy side right now. And the dad, John, is in the Louisville section. Field goal is good for Wallace, 30-yarder. At least 2 for 4 tonight. And there's Mr. Joyer. Well, we were told he was going to be on the Louisville sideline. The Cardinals about to shock the world here in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Leading 33-10. Another 5.5-minute possession leading to the field goal. John Wallace kicks off. Under 8 minutes to go. He's fired up, got it into the end zone. Andre DeBose up the far sideline. There he goes. Don't change the channel just yet. Touchdown, Florida. Well, Chris, you mentioned earlier DeBose hasn't played since late October with a sprained knee. They were hoping he would provide some big plays with his speed tonight. He just did.
Yeah, and actually well executed by Louisville. This is exactly what they want to do, but DeBose does a good job of just hitting it straight. You see big Trey Burton getting a block and really untouched, Sean. He's their most explosive player out on the edges, and find a way to get him the ball. One way is to get him back there to return kicks, and he makes it pay off with a good block by Trey Burton.
Well, I mentioned at the beginning of the game, noticeable weakness for Louisville special teams. Last in the Big East in kickoff coverage. And DeBose takes it 100 officially. It's a 16-point game. Still more than half of the fourth quarter to be played. Well, there's another onside kick, and it's out of bounds. And off the hands of Jarrell McGriff Culver of Louisville. The onside kick hasn't been the friend of Florida tonight. And I think that's a testimony, with more than half of the quarter be played in a couple of timeouts, to how Will Muschamp feels about his defense's ability to take the ball away from Louisville quickly, as he's watched the Cardinals have one long drive after another tonight.
I don't know if I would have maybe onside kicked it there. I probably would have kicked it deep, played aggressive, but I understand both ways and going that decision. But they haven't been able to stop Louisville all night.
Louisville had 9 minutes 22 seconds of possession time in the third quarter. Jeremy Wright stuffed after a 1-yard gain by Matt Elam, who joined us late. Louisville scored a defensive touchdown the first play from scrimmage, interception return, and they've had their way almost the entire night. Matt Elam again, he's been in on just about every tackle for Florida. Bridgewater down back at the 41-yard line. Well, the clock is running. 6:40 to go.
That's what they're doing defensively. Dan Quinn is coming with the blitz to try to create some type of pressure. Create a turnover, get a big hit, anything to get the offense the ball and give them a shot. Get back in this.
Florida's had an incredible mark. They've been the best fourth quarter team in the country this year, outscoring their opponents 115 to 29 in the fourth quarter. That's paved the way for their comebacks. They think it's better strength and conditioning, more depth. The players are fresher later in the year. The blitz made Bridgewater throw it quickly, incomplete in the direction of Kai Dominguez. 4th and 11. Here's the first punt of the night for Louisville. First time they've gone 3 and out tonight. Ryan Johnson's the kicker. Sophomore from Louisville. It's a good thing they haven't had to punt, because they're second to last in the country in net punting. He got it off under some pressure. Well, even that's going their way tonight. Adrian Bouchel down there to field the punt at the 3-yard line. Perfectly done. And under 6 minutes to go now in New Orleans. The Louisville Cardinal fans whooping it up. Perhaps 6 minutes away from the biggest win in school history. Fourth quarter's been great for Florida all year long. They're down by 16. They need 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions. A long way to go to do that. Starting from their own 3. Driscoll just got it off and nearly threw another interception off the hands of the linebacker Preston Brown. They've already picked him off twice tonight. Driscoll's turned it over 3 times. Also lost the fumble.
Preston Brown has played a nice game, but again, it's the same pressure that we've seen all night. You see number 25 Calvin Pryor coming in, and Marcus Smith, the 2 guys that have been given pressure and creating havoc for the Florida protection. Preston
Brown has been in on 14 tackles tonight for the Louisville defense. His career high is 17. They're showing blitz. Mike Gillisley bounces outside with some running room. First down. Out to the 20-yard line. Andrew Johnson made the tackle. 17-yard run for Gillisley.
There's the patience of Gillisley, waiting for the hole to open. Patient, hit it, then you see the change of gear that Mike possesses. Hit him on the blitz. Got him outnumbered on the right side.
Again, Chris, in the huddle. Wouldn't you go at a faster tempo here?
Yes, I would. I just don't think they're comfortable doing it, but you have to do it.
5-man rush after Jeff Driscoll. There's a tight spiral for a first down to Quentin Dunbar. The 35-yard line. 15 yards, but even with that play, just 220 yards of offense tonight for the Florida Gators. All the talk coming in about the ferocious Florida defense. It has been the Louisville defense that's been terrific tonight. Trey Burton the catch. Out of bounds, shy of a first down. Forced out by Adrian Buechele, the former Gator. By his own admission, he was a bit of a problem child when he was at Florida. The kind of guy who was a little too mouthy with the coaches, late for meetings and practices, and not always going to class as he should. After 2 years at Florida, he went to junior college, Coffeyville. And Charlie Strong, when he went from Florida to Louisville, brought him to Louisville, and he's been a key part of these last 2 seasons. First team all Big East this year, and by all accounts, much more responsible citizen. Matt Jones at running back. He'll likely be the featured back next year for Florida with the departure of Gillislee. He has not forgotten who gave him that chance at long last. Dunbar the catch on his knees. And Louisville's a terrific place. They're going to the ACC, which they're very excited about. And
nice facilities.
Outstanding facilities. They spent a lot of money on their sports programs, and what a time it's been. They get the BCS bid. They get accepted to the ACC. They keep Charlie Strong, which was a big concern. Their basketball team is, again, one of the best in the country. Great time to be a Cardinal sports fan. Driscoll fires incomplete to the far sideline for Frankie Hammond. One of 5 children. Malden spent time in 16 foster homes as a young man. What a special night for him. If they can hang on to this. Jones rumbles inside the 10. 3 minutes to go. And the Gators on the verge of making this a very interesting situation. 17-yard run by the true freshman Jones down to the 2-yard line. Then they get up over it very quickly. Driscoll powers ahead and didn't get in, and that's a time-consuming play. And again, Chris, just watching them get up.
Yeah, you got to get with some sense of urgency, and
none.
Driscoll kind of gets low and tries to power it in there, but Louisville did a good job of their guys getting lower. The bigs got lower for Louisville than the Florida bigs.
Gators have had 8 penalties tonight, right on their average. 2nd down and goal. They need to punch it in, get the 2 points. An onside kick again. Driscoll goes in motion. Omarius Hines in trouble. And stuffed at the 5-yard line. Another big play by Andrew Johnson and Hakeem Smith.
Well-coached team. You mentioned it earlier, and I'll mention it now. When you see a certain formation where they're trying to outflank you, you see Andrew Johnson coming up, maintaining his responsibility, forcing the ball back inside, not letting anything get outside of him. Outstanding effort.
Boy, you're on the 1-yard line. You've been a power team all year long. And you run that play, it loses 4.
Almost like to see Matt Jones from the I formation punch it in.
Got a 6'4", 237-pound quarterback. In the flat, caught, touchdown. And they're still alive. Kent Taylor, the catch. Wasn't even listed on their depth chart entering the night.
Coming all the way. They have 3 receivers lined up, going back to the quarterback's left. Taylor comes underneath on a tight end delay. Wide open. It's kind of a pick route. You see number 29 getting picked off right there. Hakeem Smith, who had a man-to-man, but too much traffic to weave through to get any type of coverage.
That's the 2nd catch of the season for Taylor. His first touchdown, 97-yard drive in 13 plays. Now they really must get this 2. Driscoll out of the gun. Look out! Wrapped up and thrown down by Marcus Smith. From behind, Driscoll didn't know he was there.
So Marcus Smith will be coming from the top of your screen to your left side. Just beats Nixon. Number 73, here's Marcus Smith right here coming from the top of the screen. Just beats him with a speed rush. And almost, Sean, to me, it looks like Driscoll either has to make that decision or step up into the pocket just to cut off the angle of Marcus Smith's rush and make a decision to run. See, he kind of stays right there, the same plane, could step up to buy himself a little bit more time or make the decision to tuck it and use that 236-pound body to get the two-point play.
New Orleans. Yeah, it took us a little time to get over here in New Orleans. Third onside kick attempt of the night for Florida. And they're 0 for 3. Gathered in by Scott Radcliffe, and that should do it. Second BCS bowl game for Louisville. It's going to be their second victory. And the Big East will be 5-3 in its last 8 BCS games. Bridgewater handed it off. Tale of two halves tonight for Jeremy Wright, the junior running back. First down to the 33-yard line.
What a statement by Louisville coming into this game. Averaging under 2 yards a carry. Jeremy Wright running hard. The offensive line, I can't say enough about the job they've done, both in pass protection and run blocking. Great effort up front all around for the Cardinals.
In the first half, 10 rushes for 2 yards. Then after his first carry of the second half, he was at 11 rushes for no yards. Now Jeremy's up to 74 yards. They're stuck with the run. Beasley was offside. Right. Now he delivers a blow to Matt Elam, who yanked it out. And it was too late. Play to the 25-yard line, under a minute and a half to go. And we have the Gatorade bucket ready on the Louisville sideline. Florida did not play Alabama this season. Wright carries for a first down. And the celebration has begun in earnest on the Louisville sideline in their cheering section. And Charlie does get the Gatorade bath. Tom Jurich, the man who gave him the opportunity to be a head coach after 27 years of outstanding service as an assistant coach. An emotional hug there. Hope they don't get penalized for being in the white part of the sideline there.
As long as the referee doesn't run into him.
That's it. Teddy Bridgewater and the Louisville Cardinals with the biggest win in school history. It's their second BCS win. Well, the first was against Wake Forest, a team that did not come in anywhere near as highly touted as Florida came into this one. It's the fourth 11-win season in the history of Louisville football. They'll end at 11-2, as will the Gators. They led all the way from 15 seconds into the game to the finish. Here's Quint Kesnick.
Coach Charlie Strong shaking hands with Jeremy Foley. Emotional time down here, obviously, Sean. Coach Strong,
Yes.
What was most responsible for that win tonight?
Well, you know what we did, just playing the whole time, and we just knew that we had to make plays, and what we didn't want to do was just let them get going on offense. Knew we had to play physical and just not give up the big play.
You talked about respect and belief all week long. Where did that show up tonight?
Well, I'll tell you this, Pollard got us fired up earlier today when he said that it's going to be a 15-point game in their favor, and it's going to feel like a 30-point game. And then he said our defense hadn't played well all year, so this is for him. But I would say this, the game ball go to that group up there, those fans. Look at that. That's what it's all about right there.
How do you describe the play of your quarterback?
Oh, he's an unbelievable player. I've always said it, I still believe this. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
How do you possibly put this win in perspective, Coach, in year 3 for Louisville?
Well, we always say this. We need to take this program to a different level, and we knew that this was going to be a big game for us, and just set the tone for next season for this whole program.
What was it like for you, Coach, to look across and see the team that you coached for 15 years? You built your resume there, and you're going head-to-head with them tonight.
Oh, it was tough, and it was. I built my resume there and I have so much respect for that program. But just to watch those players play in the Boston, and it was just great just sitting there watching them.
Congratulations, Coach.
Bridgewater threw for 266 and 2 touchdowns. The defense held Florida to 286 yards.
And now to present the trophy to Charlie Strong, Tom Wilson, the chairman, the president, and the CEO of Allstate.
Coach Strong, your team combined grit, determination. You played with the head, you played with the heart, man. This is a great victory for your fans here. And yeah, let's hear it. Woo! Now, this trophy should not only be a sign of your victory, it should be an inspiration for all of America that it is teamwork and commitment that make it happen. Congratulations on a great win. Nice job.
Tom, thank you. Charlie, the Louisville native Muhammad Ali, who was here earlier, once said, "I shook up the world." In BCS Bowl terms, you guys shook up the world. What made this group in front of you believe it was possible when nobody else outside the program thought it was?
Well, we always talk about just teamwork, and it's all about us, and we don't ever worry about another opponent. But I will say this to you, the game ball goes to this group back here, to our fans. Yes! Right there, yes!
And here comes the confetti. You ready for this?
You ready for that?
You made a commitment to stay at Louisville. These are exciting times. Cardinals are off to a new conference. What does this say about the state of this program beating a team from the SEC?
Well, it's big for our program, and we know this. We still have a long ways to go. We're nowhere where we need to be. But with the players and the commitment they continue to have, and with a quarterback like number 5, we feel like that we can take this program to another level.
Most of us hadn't seen a quarterback as tough as Teddy Bridgewater. What can you say about his play tonight when it began by almost getting his head knocked off over here?
Oh, he did. The first play was a personal foul, but what a competitor. We saw it in the Rutgers game, and then you see it tonight on the grand stage, and he is, without a doubt, one of the best quarterbacks in the country.
Allow yourself to reflect on what it means to you personally. Florida was the place where you got your start. They gave you your chance, allowed you to showcase your coaching skills, and to come in here and dominate them tonight.
Well, it's special, and I look at that program, and it's a special program to me, and I will always have the memories there. But we always talk about building a program here at the University of Louisville, and it is a special place. And we have a chance to build us a good, solid program, and it started tonight, and we hope that we can continue to build on and on.
Congratulations, Louisville Cardinals.
All right, Chris, thank you. For Chris Spielman, Quint Kesnick, our terrific crew, Sean McDonough. Happy New Year. Here's SportsCenter.